Democrat Pennsylvania Senator John Fetterman appearing on Bill Maher's podcast where he calls out his own party over their hatred of President Trump. Listen.
That's the TDS, this thing. You know, I said that in one where if he came out for ice cream and lazy Sundays, we would hate it.
To react, senior writer for the Washington Examiner and Fox News contributor Joe Concha. Joe, good morning to you. So not uncommon for Senator Fetterman to say something like this now. Although ice cream and lazy Sunday is a very notable line.
Sounds amazing.
But one of the things that both he and Bill Maher agreed upon is that, you can't, we're on the other side. They're Democrats. Go after the president for things that matter when it comes to politics and policy. But when you have every single Democrat under the sun going after President Trump for something like building the ballroom, which has been proven to be something of a national security interest, that's where you cross the line into like some serious TDS.
It's amazing, and TDS is the right term here, Carly. I mean, President Trump could come out for, an executive order banning pineapple on pizza, which Todd loves, I know, but most people don't. And Democrats would say it's the greatest thing ever. Yeah, I know, I've heard. I'm not sure why John Fetterman's still a Democrat at this point. This isn't to say he should become a Republican, but at least he probably should be an independent because the Democratic Party clearly has left him. Fetterman is the only Democrat to staunchly support Israel, condemn Hamas, the only Democrat seemingly to condemn this reckless rhetoric against President Trump that has led to this horrible assassination culture that has only intensified on the left. And for that, just like it happened with Tulsi Gabbard and RFK Jr., Fetterman has been ostracized by his own party as a result, while being embraced by Republicans for the most part. But he has a positive approval rating in terms of approval over disapproval in Pennsylvania. In a purple state, he is saying and doing the right things at this point. But I've noticed, though, that MS Now, which used to be MSNBC, which loved Fetterman, won't even put him on the air anymore because they can't listen to somebody who's common sense, and that's who John Fetterman has become. He's the common sense Democrat and probably a lone voice, Todd.
Quickly, Fox News alert, Carly, too, likes pineapple on pizza. I have to have ham as well. But
me too.
Moving past this.
We could share a pie.
Joe, what I can't get past is there are hundreds of Democrats in Congress. Why is there literally only one who takes the position that John Fetterman takes, which is, let's fight on policy, and not this other stuff? It's shocking to me. About 20 seconds to you, Joe.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I would say to answer your question, Todd, they're scared of their own base. They look at social media far too much, and they're afraid to go against the grain because they're afraid of being ostracized the way Fetterman has. Fetterman has guts. I would say most others on the left are just simply not there right now as far as standing up for common sense and saying things that are responsible. I think it's really that simple.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think there's a lot of people who probably agree with what he's saying, but maybe just a little bit too afraid to say it because it could be viewed as the unpopular opinion.
Like saying they like pineapple on pizza.
Joe, thank you so much for joining us. Have a great day. And Fox and Friends starts right now.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.